Hey, holy moly, I'm back. I am back. And man, so there's a press conference coming up. Somebody reached out to me and told me in 25 minutes, supposed to be a press conference or some type of update. So we'll see. Also, another thing I meant to grab, I forgot. The death toll, confirmed death toll, rose up. So now they're saying five people. Before they were officially saying two. Now they're saying five. KCal reported. Let me show you. And I expect that the numbers are probably going to rise. These are just official confirmed numbers. Who knows how many people may have passed away or will pass away. Um, yeah, the bird flu. Yeah, I know the bird flu. That's going to be something. That's the next thing, I guess. The bird flu. So the mayor is back from Africa, and I got to show you something because I could not believe it. I almost want to wait for people to join, but maybe I'll start now and then, you know, 10, 15 minutes. I'll replay it for people that joined later. And so hold on. I was listening to this commentary from Fox 11. Listen to this first.
Resources, personnel, the fire hydrant situation, the lack of water, all of those issues need to be answered.
So people are going to hear, Mayor Bass was on a diplomatic mission to Ghana? What?
What? The thing is, because I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, if she just like took off and didn't know, she had whatever, okay. But people are saying there was like advance warning that something was going to happen, and she even took a picture smiling. And she over here doing a diplomat. Meanwhile, the country or the state is burning, massive fires, and just even outside of that, the homelessness that's going on, the people are suffering, people are dying already. On top of that, and she's out doing diplomacy overseas in Ghana.
And is there more that the city or the state or the county could have done so that we would be better
They had no water. What the?
prepared and not be so overwhelmed by the flames yesterday?
Because our team of meteorologists they've been forecasting these destructive, life-threatening winds since last week. We knew this was coming. We knew this was going to happen Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right,
we
there
knew
you
this
go.
last week. So that's a question that needs to be answered is as to the number of, resources, personnel, the fire hydrant situation, the lack of water, all of those issues need to be answered.
So people are going to hear, Mayor Bass was on a diplomatic mission to Ghana? What? So when Mayor Bass was Congresswoman Bass, she was deeply involved on the issue of Africa. She led several different congressional delegations to Africa. There's a new president of Ghana who was being inaugurated. She was part of President Joe Biden's official delegation from the United States to go to Ghana to be a part of that. That's why she was there. There's plenty of people here who think, that's great if you were Congresswoman Bass, you were Mayor Bass.
Right.
We had this big firestorm weather potential coming in, and she should have been here. It'll be interesting to hear her potentially answer that question.
And I think that's just a lot of people's frustrations. I think at least the common sense people that like these priorities are given to these places outside of the U.S. I understand helping people out and things like that, but at home, how can you help outside of if your home is fucked up? You got all these issues. North Carolina is still messed up, And even today they announced that Biden's sending, what is it? Was it 500 million to Ukraine? How are we sending all this money overseas, but we can't help the citizens here that are suffering and dying and struggling? That doesn't make any sense.
A little bit later on tonight, and also talk about what's going to be next for the city. We've offered her a chance to come on and talk live with us, and we hope that she will in the hours and days ahead.
Okay, so I don't know. We'll see if she has something to say. There was another clip. I gotta show you this because this is what told me I'm coming on. This clip alone, I said, okay, I'm coming online. I have to stream this because I couldn't believe this woman's remarks. I was so taken back. Let me see. Do we have notifications? Let's check it out. We do have notifications. Okay. So I was trying to wait a little bit for people to join up. Here's the enemy. It's allocated to military equipment. This lady, so I guess this is fresh off the plane, maybe? I don't know. Check this out.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor?
Cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars.
Fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up, please? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today?
Nothing. Not a even just she could have at least said, I'm going to talk about this later. I'll give some commentary. I'm so sad for the victims, the something. But she literally had nothing to say.
Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
Yo. I was trying to find where Elon Musk said that, but he said she's utterly incompetent. Nothing to say.
Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
Nothing.
No apology for them?
Nothing.
Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Incredible. Excuse me, trying to get out of there. Quick, she's running. Run! Is she talking shit? I can't even hear what she's saying. It's the volume so low. Can't even hear what she's saying. Is she talking crap?
Yeah.
Madam Mayor, let me ask you just again, have you anything to say to the citizens today as you return?
No. They're gonna
Ma'am, hold on 1 second.
Yo, she's trying to run out of there, but the door's locked. She's trying to run.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to deal with the catastrophe.
Can you take this down? David, as you say, she wasn't very keen to answer any of your questions there. And fire chiefs are also admitting that they just don't have enough personnel to take out the fires.
Yeah, they're fighting all sorts of challenges. They're talking about a water shortage. There are reports of fire hydrant failures. They've been unable to use firefighting aircraft for much of the day due to the smoke that is billowing ominously from the hills where the wildfires are raging. And I suppose despite that political storm, this is, of course, at its heart, a human story, because we've now 80,000 people evacuated. Tens of thousands of others are on standby to be evacuated. 2 lives have been lost in the Eaton fire, which is what's causing the consequence behind us. The city's iconic landscape almost shrouded completely by the smoke. And they're really just taking it one step at a time, hoping at some stage the wind's going to change direction or to die down, and that they're going to be able to get this fire under control.
Okay. So that clip to me was wild. But she needs to, at some point, she can't pull a Kamala Harris. At some point, she needs to come out and say something. You're the mayor. You got to say something. And then you're going to have to take questions and have some type of answer. You know, for now, she has nothing to say. This video was kind of, I don't know. Somebody here titled it Heartbreaking. A little sad to see the reindeer running in Altadena, California. Baby reindeer. Chill time went by so fast. I don't know. I'm back here, but it was quick. Baby reindeer. I don't know. I mean, it's a really frustrating to see these people in the situation they're in, but they're worried about. It's just politics. I guess with these people, it's just politics. It's not about people's homes, people suffering, people having no money, the homeless on the street. It's just politics. That's all it is. So we got to put on a front and a face. Let's see if this plays. This is from 564 Fire. Let's see this fire girl. Oh, it's a white-tailed deer, Brittany. Okay, not a reindeer. Thank
people
you.
coming in. Can you let me know if the audio is working? Just somebody throw a comment in there.
Thank you.
That'd be great. Mike Fila, can you let me know if my audio is working? Please throw a comment in there. It's the only way I can see it. Well, I hope it's working. All right, Old Glory. She's a little tattered, but she's still up. Good audio. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that very much. Okay, I'm at the Eaton Fire, day 2. Corner of Altadena and Lake. Multiple commercials burning. LA County, Long Beach are in here, heavy presence, working as much as they can. They're trying to keep the fires that are already established in the structures confined to those specific structures or a group of those specific structures and not let it continue to eat away at the uninvolved. So a lot going on here, and I think they're struggling for resources. I've heard a lot of water issues today, so I think they're having issues like everybody else. We'll walk around a little bit here.
So there's a press conference coming up. I jumped on for the press conference, and also I'm curious to see if this lady, the mayor, is going to show up to this press conference. You going to show up? You landed. We saw you landed. You got to say something. You got to show face, something. Even Newsom at least showed his face. Even Biden, even though he was talking about his newborn grandchild. Yeah, the place is burning. There's destruction. People are suffering. But on a good note, I have a new grandchild. Amazing. Okay. Amazing. I thought this was really dope too. Firefighter scales flagpole to save American flag. Check this out. On Scene TV, hey! Wow. That's dope. Respect that. Oh, okay, Brittany. Press conference for Eaton Fires at 4 Cali. So that's 7 our time, right? 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 o'clock is the press conference. But then Brittany says, and the mayor is at 5. So 7 and 8 o'clock. Okay, the mayor? I want to see what she has to say. And I hope she takes the Q&A, and I hope the reporters press her on the things that people want to know. Hell on earth, yeah.
Don't let it touch the ground. Roll it up in a ball.
So far now they're saying, as far as all the damages,
now, so it's active, obviously.
This is a new post from citizens. The fire has grown to 15,832 acres, with 1,000 structures allegedly destroyed. This has become the most destructive in Los Angeles history. That's crazy. How far is it going to go? Press conference, LA City. Oh, thank you. If anybody has the links to these press conferences, DM it to me, email it to me, let me know you did it. Tag me. Press conference, LA City. Okay. Should be in 10 minutes.
What are you hearing, Mr. Whitesides, from your constituents? What do they need right now?
Well, I just left an evacuation center here in Pacoima where people are bringing their pets and, they are scared. They are concerned about the smoke. So far, the evacuation centers on the north side of the county are well stocked with food. I think people want to make sure, particularly for elderly and the young people, that they're managing the air that they're breathing. So if they're going outside, to use a mask. But to stay indoors if they can, and to protect the folks who are the most vulnerable in our communities.
And I don't know if you're near a TV screen or seeing this on the stream, but when you see these images and what you've seen in person today, just what goes through your mind on a human level?
My heart breaks. My heart breaks. My wife grew up in Santa Rosa, and they had the Tubbs fire where they lost 5,000 homes in just a couple of hours. And we're going through our own version of that last night and today. And it is just, there was a story that the fire chief told of telling one of his best friends that his home had burned to the ground with just the chimney remaining. And it just breaks your heart. And we just have to work as hard as we can to help these folks get back on their feet for the long recovery ahead.
And do you hope and think that this is going to be a bipartisan thing? We've seen some bickering between the governor and the incoming president. I mean, your thoughts on maybe ways to tamp some of that down?
We have been working well so far at the House level to try to make sure that there is a strong bipartisan support for the recovery that is going to be necessary.
They need to do something different because my Australian friend earlier today was commenting about that in their country they do these controlled burns and it helps make things not as bad. And this guy Gavin Newsom apparently is against it. He's been hard headed, so year after year there's all these fires. This just me personally, I'm not saying it's the worst fire ever. This is the worst that I've seen so far. I like to cover fires, in Cali. Sometimes I do it on the second channel, Aiken LCC. This is the worst that I've seen so far. And they're saying it's the worst in Los Angeles, I think. So something needs to be done. I mean, when there's firefighters standing out there and there's no water, something has to change. Something needs to be done. It's ridiculous. Have
to spend a lot more to manage the fuels in our wildlands. We're going to have to make sure that we're paying our wildfire fighters a living wage. We're going to have to make sure that we're supporting our communities to do the hardening that they need, particularly at the wildland-urban interface. And we're going to have to really put more money into technology development so on these very difficult days we can do a better job of sensing the perimeter of the fire, sensing where there's high-intensity fire. And
oh, my gosh.
Wow, you see that shit?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you were able to see the picture, but the roof of the building that we were just watching burn just collapsed.
Let me rewind it if anybody missed it. Wow, look at this.
Fire and
oh my gosh.
Money into technology development so on these very difficult days we can do a better job of sensing the perimeter of the fire, sensing where there's high-intensity fire. And
oh my gosh.
If possible. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you were able to see the picture, but the roof of the building that we were just watching burn just collapsed.
Wow.
As we're going to be traveling there for the inauguration. Maybe check out your new offices. But again, Congressman George Whitesides, appreciate the perspective and our best to you and your constituents tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right, this picture is being brought to us by the crew with Gina Silva. She has now joined the coverage. Gina, you were on the Eaton fire when it first broke out last night in the hundreds of acres, and now we're almost to 11,000 acres, and we're watching this business literally fall to the ground.
It has been, as you can see, part of the roof fell on live television. You can see that car that's on fire. Earlier, we just heard a loud pop. It sounded like an explosion. You can see the power line there that is also on fire. This is the Two Dragons martial arts studio that is it has been just devastated. It's destroyed. Right next to it is also a facial and waxing salon, and that is fully engulfed. And both of these are located at Mariposa Street and Lake Avenue in Altadena. As you know, this fire has been going strong since last night, the Eaton fire. The good news is that tonight, the winds aren't as bad as they were last night, but you can see that the destruction is still going. This Eaton fire erupted near Eden Canyon in Altadena along the Pasadena border, and so far more than 10,600 acres have burned. More than 100.
It's crazy. Oh, Sarah, everybody's sending me information. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sarah, Nat, Alcoholic, everybody. Thank you. So I was looking for Elon Musk's post about incompetence, and Sarah found it. Let me see if it opens up here. Okay, I gotta fix this. Edit. Okay. Boom. I'm gonna put this video again. I was waiting for people to join. I want as many people to see this. But this is the most damning video of a politician being questioned during a disaster that I've ever seen. It's a Sky News reporter just absolutely shredded the incompetent Los Angeles mayor, Karen Bass. And Elon Musk said, incompetence kills. If my city was burning down, if I was going through all this shit, suffering, all this stuff, and this chick arrives because she was in another country, and this is her response.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this? 100% of the time.
Nothing.
No apology for them?
Nothing.
Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
She got nothing to say, bro. That was so wild to me. Well, let me see. Do they have the press conference? Soon, Cali fire officials
to jumpstart their recovery. The White House says, additionally, FEMA approved a fire management assistant grant to reimburse California for firefighting costs last night. So we're going to take this live once it begins, though. In the meantime here, our colleagues there still at Fox 11 in Los Angeles continue with their wall-to-wall coverage of these devastating fires. Let's keep watching.
The valley downtown, and residents using garden hoses with water pressure has significantly dropped, and that's a recipe for disaster. He says any power loss to pump or lift stations could reduce hydrant pressure to static levels, which would be insufficient for firefighting efforts. And that, of course, is what we have been seeing. So that's a problem that needs to be addressed. This is I don't think we've ever seen anything like this, right? Like today, what I can say on a positive note is that the winds are nowhere near as strong as they were yesterday. They were insane last night. But, we're still witnessing all of this destruction.
Yeah, we are so relieved to hear that the winds are nothing like they were last night when you and Joab Perez were out there. So thank goodness for that. We can't necessarily say the same about the Palisades fire because Matthew Seedorf said they're pretty much comparable. But here at the Eaton fire in Altadena, the winds have backed off a little bit, yet we are still seeing all this destruction. Gina Silva will be checking in with you. We are waiting, as she mentioned, that press conference at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock, as it relates to the Eaton fire. When that happens, we will bring that to you live.
In the meantime, as we approach the top of the hour, we know there are new people that come in, so we want to take a moment to reset and get everybody up to date on the very latest that we know. We continue our live continuous.
All right. So the update is 15,832 acres. That's from an hour ago. Shit, you want to see the map? The map looks crazy. What? The map looks insane, dude. Wow. And let me see, Joe Rogan. Donald Trump was mocked for sounding the alarm in California water fire crisis during his interview with Joe Rogan. Turns out he was right. Okay, let's take a look.
We're going to get started.
Okay, let's get started. What's the update?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Victor. Typical spelling, Victor. Last name is Gordo, Gordo, mayor of the city of Pasadena. Let me first say on behalf of all residents of Pasadena that our thoughts and prayers are with those who have lost their home and even their lives here in Pasadena, as well as in Altadena and the Palisades. On behalf of all residents of Pasadena and the leaders that you see behind me, we will certainly have all those individuals and their families and friends in our thoughts and prayers. We have experienced a tremendous tragedy here in our community. To date, we have over 100,000 people under mandatory evacuation. We've had 5 fatalities, and then we have close to another 100,000 people who have been warned to evacuate because they are in a danger zone. Hundreds of homes have been lost. I'll let the police chief and the fire chief talk about that. But this is an opportunity for us as a community, as a people, to band together and work to support one another. Whether you're affected or not, please take the opportunity to help a neighbor, help a friend, check in on friends and neighbors, and certainly check in on family members. Here with me today are Councilmember Jason Lyon, Councilmember Justin Jones, Councilmember Jessica Rivas, my colleagues on the Pasadena City Council. Also with us today is City Manager Miguel Marquez, our Supervisor, LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger, Congressmember Judy Chu, State Senator Sasha Perez, Assemblymember John Harabedian, the Superintendent of the Pasadena Unified School District, Dr. Blanco, the President of Pasadena City College, Dr. Jose Perez, a representative from the Humane Society. Also with us today are neighboring Assembly members, Assemblymember Coloza, Assemblymember Nick Schultz. You'll also hear from Fire Chief Chad Augustine and Police Chief Gene Harris. So again, I just want to assure people that Pasadena is working in conjunction with our neighboring jurisdictions, including the County of Los Angeles, particularly the County of Los Angeles. Supervisor Barger and I had the opportunity to sit down with the Governor of California this afternoon, not too long ago, maybe an hour ago, and the Governor has assured us that he will provide whatever assistance that we may request. And so on behalf of Supervisor Barger and I'd like to thank the Governor for coming, seeing for himself the devastation and committing the Guard and other resources to Pasadena. And so we will certainly be in touch. With that, let me, and I'll go over these points in Spanish at the end as well. Let me turn it over to City Manager Miguel Marquez.
Good afternoon. My name is Miguel Marquez. excuse me, Miguel spelled M-I-G-U-E-L, Marquez, M-A-R-Q-U-E-Z. I am the city manager for the city of Pasadena. It's been a brutal 22 hours here in Pasadena. My heart aches for all who lost their homes, their memories, and their sense of security. About 22 hours ago, we first learned of a fire in Eaton Canyon. As they always do, and despite the dangers, our first responders rushed to the scene. They found darkness, they found fire, and they found 80-mile-per-hour winds. Air support was not possible under those conditions. Our first responders did all they could under those brutal conditions to put out the fire, putting their own lives at risk to save others. They battled through the night, with more and more joining the fight as the night wore on. Our police officers went door to door, ensuring as many residents as possible were evacuated to safety, including many seniors and those with mobility limitations. They saved many, many lives in the last 22 hours. Their efforts were heroic. Our first responders, our Public Works Department who cleared the streets, Pasadena Water and Power who kept the power on and the water flowing throughout the night. Public servants from so many different agencies came together in the last 22 hours to keep as many people safe as possible. Together, many, many lives were saved. The battle continues, as does our resolve. We will put out the fire, and then it will be time to rebuild. In this community, we may get knocked down, but we always pick ourselves up. Many thanks to our first responders, our city staff, our city council, our county, state, and federal partners, our education partners, our nonprofit partners, our business partners, our partners in the media, and most of all, our residents.
Right.
Thanks to all for once again stepping up and doing what needed to be done to keep people as safe as possible in the face of danger. We will not relent. We will heal. We will rebuild. These last 22 hours didn't bring us down. They made us Pasadena strong. Thank you.
Next, I'll invite LA County Supervisor and our Supervisor, Catherine Barger.
As I was standing here, one of our Altadena residents came up to me who is very active in the Rotary, and he lost his home. I'm hearing this time and time again. And as the mayor told you, we went up and took a tour, and it is surreal. It is without words that I can even explain to you what is taking place, especially in my district in Altadena, but also in the bordering area of Pasadena. My heart is heavy, but I have to say, and the mayor is absolutely correct, we met with the governor, who also met with the president, and resources, both financial, but also resources for boots on the ground, are here, and we're going to continue to fight this fight. But I would ask people, please, 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 if you don't need to be in the area, we don't need you in the area. Recognize that when we drove up there, these are fires that are actively taking place as we speak. And there were many people that don't live in the area that just wanted to go up and take a look. We have fire personnel that is fighting this blaze, not only in Altadena, but also in the Palisades area. We need you all to work with us. And to those people that want to go up and loot,
oh yeah, the looters,
the full weight of the county will come down on you. And that's going to start with the district attorney, who's issuing a press release and is going to make sure the full extent of the law is played out if you are caught looting in any area impacted by this fire. But I want to thank our first responders, who many of which have been on the line for over 24 hours. And I think it's important for us to note that the chief of the LA County Fire has asked for resources outside the state, with the goal to let them go in and begin to fight the fire so that our firefighters can take a break and then start again. But again, I want to thank our first responders, but I also want to thank our state and federal partners, Congressmember Chu, Congressman Whitesides, who represents Santa Clarita area. It's very reassuring to know that we have an all hands on deck, both at the state and at the federal level. And we will rebuild, And to my friends out there that have lost their homes, we are here for you as we look forward to what we are going to do to help you rebuild your life. So with that, thank you.
Next, Congressmember Judy Chu.
Hello, I'm Congressmember Judy Chu, and I just got off the plane from Washington, D.C. My heart goes out to those who've lost their homes and their businesses. I've had friends tell me that they've lost their homes, and I can't believe the destruction that this fire is causing. But I want to tell you that this morning I was on the phone with the White House and with FEMA, and President Biden has declared this a national disaster. So now the mechanics are set for people to get assistance for recovery from FEMA. And also, FEMA was asked last night by the state of California to declare this eligible for the fire management grants, and indeed it is. So all the expenses that we see for fighting this fire will be reimbursed by the federal government. And also, I've spoken to Supervisor Torres of the San Gabriel Mountains. He's asked for help from Washington, D.C. to close the forest area. So I do want to urge everybody, please stay away from the forest area. I just urge everybody to make sure that you obey the evacuation orders, and that also you take advantage of the shelters that are available at the Pasadena Civic Center as well as the Arcadia Community Center. Our office is going to be ready to assist you in the recovery from these fires. And we know that there are...
By the way, there's some breaking news that I just saw. They're saying Hassan Abi, aka, what's his other name? I don't know. Hassan Abi, Hassan Piker. They're saying that his house has burnt down, unfortunately. And he's an extreme leftist, ultra leftist, communist. You know, I don't know. There's so many probably things I could. He says, eat the rich while he's rich himself, as a millionaire. I mean, he's probably going to be fine, you know, but they're saying his house burnt down. Hassan Piker. Ultra left. Crazy. Crazy.
To know and love this community. As the supervisor said, we're receiving many calls from friends and community members letting us know that they've lost their homes, they've lost their businesses. This is a really devastating time. We just toured the site and there are still fires burning, and I want to emphasize to people, if you are told to evacuate,
no, you guys are crazy, man.
Please take these warnings seriously.
This chick commented under my tweet because I tweeted it out. She said, that's a win in my book. I don't wish ill upon people, but that guy, I really do think he's a piece of shit. I don't like him, but I wouldn't wish harm upon him.
It is incredibly dangerous for individuals to be up there during this time and there's right now. It is incredibly dangerous for individuals to be up there during the time when there's fires like this. This is a very, very dangerous time. So please evacuate, get somewhere safe, make sure that your family is safe. Also, if you receive an evacuation warning, please make sure, if you have elderly neighbors, pick up the phone and let them know. We've seen a lot of senior citizens just here at the senior center that have been evacuated, and, you know, someone taking a moment to knock on the door and make sure that they were informed so that they're getting out of their home is so critical and makes such a difference. We know right now that there's a lot of folks that are struggling to have cell service when they're up in the foothills right now. We know power lines are down. And these fires are continuing to rage on. So, you know, the state's doing everything that it can right now to make sure that we're allocating resources. We're moving firefighters from Northern California, from Central California to come here to fight this fire. There's firefighters coming from out of state. And so resources are coming. We're going to get this thing contained, but it is going to take time. And so make sure that you're staying away, letting our public safety officers do what they need to do so that we can get this contained. Thank you.
Next, Assemblymember John Harabedian.
Thank you, Mayor Gordo. For anyone who is a believer of any faith, please, we need your prayers. We need your thoughts of healing and anything that you can do to help our community. Many of our neighbors, our loved ones, and members throughout our community lost their lives today. And we are with you. We see you, we feel you, and we are going to help you get through this. As part of the state of California, along with our governor, our federal and local officials, our main mission now is to keep people safe, minimize any further devastation. And for those of you who lost your homes, who lost your property, who lost your loved ones, we're going to help you for the memberships.
Appreciate that.
We're going to do everything we can to fight for you every day, now, this week, over the next couple months and years, to make sure you get your life back. And that is my promise. That is the promise of everyone behind us.
Or maybe talking about Hassan.
Stay diligent. Heed the warnings of our...
All right, so somebody did tweet and reply. They said, but Hassan is streaming from his house. Because I saw multiple accounts saying that his house burnt down. So I don't know what's going on. But, I've seen this guy set up. And his setup looks different from the usual setup. I feel like this guy probably has multiple homes or something. I don't know. This is Hassan right now on Twitch. This is not the normal setup this guy has. It's like on the other side, everything's reversed. I don't know. It's a reverse thing. I'm not sure. But he is live streaming. He is live streaming right now. So what's Hassan's house? Maybe he has multiple houses and shit. Maybe this is just one of the burner house, right? Maybe a homeboy has a burner house. I don't know. Right?
Provide for our families and our students. I saw many of my families here today who have lost their homes along with their staff. Thank you for being here with them, and thank you for supporting them. Our schools are going to remain closed for the rest of the week. We are continuing to assess the damages at our school. Our maintenance and operation team, along with our police department, the sheriffs, and our fire department have been assessing our buildings. Our preliminary assessment results show that the fire has substantially damaged 5 campuses. While most of them are in good condition, we have confirmed these 5 campuses in Altadena. Elliott's Arts Magnet School is damaged. Franklin Elementary, which was closed in 2020, has damage of about 80%. 3 campuses that house.
So maybe it's not true then, because BGB has tweeted me and he said that 2 weeks ago Hassan's house looked like this 2 weeks ago. He had the Cuba flag over there, fucking communist. But 2 weeks ago, this thing looked like this, and then today, I guess the setup looks similar. It does look similar, I guess. Yeah. I swear I thought his setup. Maybe I saw a really old video. I thought his setup was different. But BGB says no, it's the same setups, and his house wasn't burned down. And honestly, as a content creator, if your house gets burned down, you probably at least stream the shit. You gotta make the best out of the worst. So stream it. Maybe it didn't get burned down then.
Next, President of Pasadena City College, Dr. Jose Gomez.
Hi, I'm Jose A. Gomez, Jose A. Gomez, Gomez. Over the last 24 hours, our hearts
some people were
have
excited
been
about this shit.
By what has transpired. We have lost our peace. Although Pasadena City College has sustained minor damage, our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts are with our greater community. We are so grateful at Pasadena City College for the incredible leadership that the city of Pasadena and all of our legislators and all of our elected officials have provided, not just to our college, but also to our community. the campus will be closed and we will not be having classes until next Monday. We will resume a regular schedule and classes on Monday, if possible. Of course, it's a very fluid situation. But more importantly than that, we have activated much of our campus community in support of our partners and our greater Pasadena San Gabriel Valley family. Our emergency management response team has been deployed here to the convention center to help the city. We have our nursing staff who will be arriving soon to help our city Department of Public Health, and in partnership with our superintendent of Pasadena Unified School District, Dr. Elizabeth Blanco, we are also serving meals to our PUSD families at Pasadena City College. We are here to help in any way possible. And we, of course, appreciate all of your support and all of your help. Pasadena and the San Gabriel Valley has been an amazing partner to PCC, and we are here to be an important and critical partner to the communities that we serve. Thank you.
Next, from the Humane Society, Dia DeVernit.
I'm Dia DeVernit, President and CEO of Pasadena Humane. We're a nonprofit animal welfare organization and shelter serving Pasadena and 10 surrounding areas, including Altadena, which has been very hard hit by this fire. And our hearts really go out to all the people who have lost their homes and their pets in this disaster. We recently just heard from one of our board members who lost her home with her 2 cats in it. I'm sure we're going to be hearing more stories like this in the coming hours and days, but our primary focus has been over the past 24 hours to assist people who have been safely evacuating with their pets and need a place for their pets to go. So we've taken in over 250 pets in the past 24 hours, and we have been working today to coordinate with shelters throughout the state to help take the animals that are already in our shelter to make room for more animals who are coming in. I want to really thank everyone who has offered assistance, including the shelters around the state and people who we see in our community who are rescuing neighbors' pets and bringing them to us. It really has been heartwarming to see even our staff members who have been evacuated and are losing their homes coming to the shelter to shelter with their pets and take care of other people's pets. It's going to take a real community effort to recover from this. We've had lots of inquiries from people wanting to help. We're taking names of those who would be interested in fostering animals as we get more animals in. Right now, our primary need is monetary donations so that we can provide emergency services to pets that have been impacted by the fires. We are also providing food and other pet supplies if anyone is in need. And we really encourage you, if you are evacuating, please make sure your pet has identification. Take pet supplies with you. And if possible, please try to stay with family or friends who can accommodate you and your pet, as the shelters are really becoming quite stressed in this situation. I want to give a few concrete resources because they have been rapidly evolving. For those in the foothill areas who have horses in need of shelter, right now the Fairplex in Pomona is taking them, the Industry Hills Equestrian Center, and soon LA County will be opening the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds. We've heard that the LA Equestrian Center, where horses have been kept, is currently being evacuated. We have recently started to see the first injured animals coming in. We've had a cat and some wildlife coming in. If you do find injured wildlife, we'd like you to call our wildlife helpline at 626-344-1234. 1129. We're very thankful to our skilled veterinarians who are providing care to these animals, and we'll continue to provide care around the clock to animals in need in our community. Thank you.
Next, because this is still an active fire with very little, if any, containment, I think it's important to hear from the fire chief, and our fire chief is here with us, Chief Chad Augustine.
Good afternoon. My name is Chad Augustine, your Pasadena Fire Chief, CHADAUGUSTIN. I'd like to give you a current sit stat on our Eaton fire. We can confirm that the Eaton fire is now over 10,600 acres at 0% containment. I'd be remiss, though, if I didn't highlight some of the heroic actions last night by your public safety, police, and fire, who literally saved lives, pulling people out from burning buildings, getting them out of streets and vehicles where they had no ways to evacuate. Our death count today would be significantly higher without their heroic actions. We currently have 60 strike teams requested and 750 firefighters working on this incident. We're in a unified command with multiple agencies to include Law, LA County Fire, LA County Sheriff, and Angeles National Forest, along with Pasadena Fire. We have strike teams committed from all over the state and as far as Arizona coming to assist us. Multiple structures have been damaged or destroyed as this wind-driven fire had wind gusts of 70+ miles per hour. We had spotting of embers 2 to 3 miles ahead of the fire. I can confirm tonight that we have somewhere between 200 and 500 structures damaged or lost. We really need, as it becomes safe to do so, and we get a better handle on this fire, we're going to be able to, we need to come in and be able to survey the damage to get an exact total of number of structures that have been damaged or completely lost. We continue to be in red flag conditions, and we expect that to be through Thursday with variable and high wind speeds. Thankfully not as strong as what we saw last night. We are encouraging people to stay updated as the weather can continue to change very rapidly. Please, if we issue an evacuation order, heed our request. Be prepared, have your go bag, and immediately evacuate. Thankfully, the current forecasts allow us today to start getting aircraft in to fight this fire. Since around 10 a.m., we've had aircraft doing water drops. With the goal of limiting the fire spread, we will come behind those water drops with hand crews and fire engines to get a containment line around this fire. We expect, with favorable conditions over the next couple days, to start making good progress on this fire. And with that, I'll turn it over to the police chief.
Damn, it's like 30, 40 people to hand it over to.
Your firefighters, how are they?
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
The past 22 hours now.
Yeah, they're exhausted. We need those reinforcements coming in, but they've done incredible work. Where they've, an example is crews that fought 15 house fires over a 28-hour period. They didn't save any of them, but they prevented 2 or 3 blocks away from burning down. So great work, not just from your Pasadena fire, but throughout this entire region.
You requested 60 strike teams. What's the status of that, and how long before they get here?
Great question. So we have multiple strike teams have arrived. We're in the early 15-ish strike teams, and we expect over the next 24 hours we'll be close to 50. Even some of the Arizona strike teams should be here by this evening.
Damn Cracker, thank you.
I know that this morning, looking at some of the fires, there were maybe 1 or 2 firefighters on scene only because it appeared not to have the resources. Everybody stretched to the limit. Can you talk about that situation?
Yeah, sure. I would be kidding all of you if I said we didn't have resources stretched yesterday, right? It's a rarity that you have 2 major brush fires in LA County, like we did yesterday with the Eaton fire and the Palisades, let alone the multiple other fires that we saw. So we had an extreme drawdown from with LA County Fire, and they are our biggest partner. Even with their drawdown, they sent us a lot of resources last night, which was really helpful. It's unfortunate with the wind gusts that we had, up to 70-mile-an-hour winds, they had to ground their aircraft last night. But we really relied on all of LA County to bring us resources.
The heck to a girl? She pulled she scammed allegedly all her viewers and subscribers and followers, took millions of dollars, and now she's cruising on some beach. And people give her a lot of sympathy. Oh, maybe she didn't know. I probably agree that maybe she didn't know all the intricacies, but I also feel that she knew what these motherfuckers were doing, and she didn't feel any kind of way when her own. If I promoted some shit and I'm like, you guys are gonna make money or whatever, and it turned out to be a whole fucking scam and people lost millions and thousands of dollars, I would feel guilty. I'd say something. I'm sorry. We're gonna figure this out. No, this chick disappeared, and she's on the beach on some Gucci, whatever. And doesn't give a fuck about anybody.
I'll be clear. We could have had much more water with those wind gusts. Yes. We were not stopping that fire last night. Those erratic wind gusts were throwing embers for multiple miles ahead of the fire. And that's really what caused the rapid spread of this fire.
Sir, where specific the fire start? The most specific, because it's a picture taken approximately 6:30 last night. Like a fire and around Canyon.
That's correct. The time that is correct. And around 6:30 was when the fire came in the Altadena area. It was actually in LA County, but right on the border. We had both Pasadena and LA County resources arriving almost simultaneously. And then, of course, the fire quickly moved into the Pasadena city limits.
So 10,600 acres on fire, 0% containment, hundreds of homes destroyed. What can you say to communities to get them home?
Yeah.
I bet you have a handle on this anytime.
Yeah, what gives me hope is when I look at the trees and bushes around here. Last night was incredible, right? It was like something that most of you have probably never seen. Tonight we have very mild wind conditions where we can get aircraft and a ton of additional resources getting their hands around this fire. That's what gives me confidence that we're going to get a handle on this fire.
Before, why don't we bring the police chief up, and then then you can ask questions of both chiefs.
One question. Can we talk about the cause of the fire, and if there are others? You know that there are several fires burning. Are any of these connected to things like fake arson?
The cause, you're going to love my generic answer, but the cause is under investigation, right? We have multiple fire investigators as well as fire and arson investigators from LA County and local resources investigating that. We need to let them do their good work so that we can come up with an accurate cause and origin.
Gotta fix this. I don't know.
We'll
Something about
stay here for more questions.
I don't like.
In the meantime, because this also involves a public safety situation and neighborhoods that have been evacuated and homes, the message I want to reiterate is don't even think about it. Don't think about coming to loot any of these properties in Pasadena or Altadena, because the Pasadena Police Department, as well as the LA County Sheriff and resources from the state of California, will be out there patrolling and protecting these neighborhoods. With that, I'll turn it over to our police chief, Eugene Harris, to provide you more facts and details.
My name is Gene Harris. I am the police chief for the city of Pasadena. Gene is Gene. Last name is Harris, Harris. Last night at the beginning of this incident, first responders from the city of Pasadena responded to the area of this event, primarily on a safety mission. But when they got there, they rapidly found an escalating fire that was growing rapidly with the wind gusts, and it turned into a rescue evacuation scenario. Those first responders acted heroically by going in and either evacuating or rescuing numerous folks that are now housed in this building behind me. It was nothing short of heroic. And as they got there, it rapidly turned into that type of mission. So we had people from our police department, our fire department, certainly reached out into our Area C partners, local, state, and county folks that came to assist. And it took all night to get folks rescued or evacuated from their homes. And that effort was robust in that end. We also reached out beyond our county into other counties. We had some other agencies roll assets to us that could help us solve this problem. And they are still on scene at our command post as we speak. As you heard said, this is an active scenario from a law enforcement perspective. You've heard all of the fire circumstances and issues. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we in law enforcement are doing in this incident. As I said, it started out as a evacuation and rescue mission. It is now going to transition for law enforcement into a protection and community safety mission. And we will be staunch in protecting the community and protecting the homes of those folks who've had to be evacuated. We will have numerous folks in and around the area. Upwards of 150 officers at any one time in and around the city handling all of our regular patrol efforts, but certainly focusing on making sure that the homes and the property around the burn area is secure. We will be staunch in that effort. If you have, and this is a message to the community, if you have a righteous reason to be there, declare that reason to law enforcement personnel and we'll assist you. If you don't have a righteous or legal reason to be there, expect to be challenged and we will deal with you accordingly. The idea here is we want to make sure that we protect the people in this community, we protect the sanctity of these people's homes, and we will do that without fail. As you heard the mayor say, don't come here if that is the mission, if that's what you plan to do. You will run into somebody in one of these uniforms, and we will take care of that situation. So ensure that we are going to be staunch and very stern about the way that we're conducting this protection mission. I want to end it by simply saying the first responders in this city are second to none. Those partners that responded to help us really stood up, and you've got some really good elements that came out here to support this community and make it safe. So we will have ongoing and sustained operations. There will not be any lessening of operational capability for emergency services. We might find that some of the regular services will be out. We've put some information out on that for social media and on the media to make sure that people understand that we may not have the counters open and some of those things for regular services. But all emergency services will be dealt with without any lessening of services or impact. So with that, I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
Now we can open it up to questions from any of our speakers that you may have. I can do Spanish now, or we can do one-on-one.
Mayor, can we ask the chief about before you go, the looting situation? Was those instances of looting, did that happen here at the Eaton Canyon Fire? I mean, what was the situation here that makes you speak so forcefully about any activities that might happen within the fire zone?
Well, the forceful nature of my delivery is really designed to impact what our caring is for this community. It's a community caring mission. We haven't had any incidents of looting, and we don't want any. And so the message is, don't come here if that's what you plan to do. You're going to run into one of us, and we're going to be staunch in that effort. So we haven't had anything yet, but we're trying to expect the unexpected and get in front of these types of things.
I removed the community guidelines for the chat.
Chief, there were a number of significant spot fires that broke out not only in the hills but along Lake Avenue. Several buildings suddenly caught fire at once. Do you anticipate any of that tomorrow?
I do not. Right, we're still in a very active incident, right? And we have a dynamic fire that has 0% containment. But what caused a lot of last night's issues was the dynamic winds. Wind gusts of 70 miles an hour and very erratic winds. At 2 in the morning, they changed direction heading westward, and we ended up having evacuations all the way to Glendale. So do I expect a risk of fire spread tomorrow? Yes. Do I expect erratic fire weather like we saw last night? No. We can confidently say those embers were spreading ember casts 2+ miles, right? And we were in red flag conditions, right? And just acknowledging that we're in red flag conditions in January, right, should make us all pause. And so it was the humidity was so low last night that a single spark could cause a fire. And then you add in the wind gusts. And when I was driving to the fire last night, there was fires, dozens of fires starting just from the embers that were being thrown in blocks, and miles ahead of the fire.
Chief, the owner of the Bunny Museum told us on our air on CBS that the fire hydrant in front of his museum was dry, and that firefighters couldn't get it.
Yeah, great. She's a firecracker, that chick. She is a firecracker.
Pressure problem. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I can't comment on that specific instance because I don't know the facts of that, but I can tell you that it's very common in a brush fire in a city when you have that big of a fire with that many resources that we're going to tax our water supply and our water system. Then if you have a loss of power, which may impact the pressure, it's going to make it even worse. So
oh my God.
Yes, all of that. We're going to struggle on water supply on a very, very large
Yeah.
With multiple
okay, you're right. You're right.
Fire.
I can't
Feel that you got
Oh my God.
help,
That's true. That's true.
Mutual aid quick enough? Did it arrive fast enough?
Yeah.
Did it help?
Sure. What was great, if there was a positive thing from yesterday, is we were preparing for a wind event for multiple days in advance of what happened last night. We were preparing for a wind event as well as possible brush fire, but you had augmented staffing all over the county, and which really benefited.
My God, I want to. There's so much that I want to say, and there's clips that I want to. But these people are taking forever with the press conference, and I'm really curious to see what the mayor is going to have to say. That's all I care about. I want to see what the mayor has to say.
As you're speaking right now on our air, we're showing live pictures of houses burned to the ground.
Yes.
These are images that you and everyone standing behind you has seen all day long. What do you say to the cameras watching this happen?
We grieve for them, right? We're incredibly sorry that they have a loss of, for many of them, everything they own, right? And it's tough as your fire chief. That's my responsibility.
I am C. McGinnis.
I also know that last night was unprecedented conditions where we
After you went to sleep, a lot of things that you said were true. I played it in the other two streams, or was it 3 or 2? I don't even know anymore. But they were the controlled fire and all that stuff. I saw other clips about it. It's true. It's true what you were saying.
People are now using this and looking forward. What are some of the biggest needs that you think in the days to come that you'll need here for the folks here that have evacuated?
Well, first and foremost, it's very sad to see families dislodged, particularly families that have lost their home and, as the chief says, have lost everything. I think one of the biggest challenges is going to be to transition people who have lost their home into permanent housing. We have hundreds of homes that have been destroyed, and moving people into permanent long-term housing is definitely going to be a challenge, and it's going to be a challenge that we're going to engage the county, the state, and the federal government in.
Has there been any contact information, a website or phone number set up for missing persons? So if a family member or someone in the area was evacuated, the family's out of state or out of county, how do you track down your loved one?
Well, the standard 911 will be efficient enough to get us to the numbers that we need to get you. I would suggest that you make that call. To me, that stands to be an emergency, so let's do that. You can also contact our business line, and we can get you to the right people that can guide you in. If you think that your folks are at our evacuation center, which is right here behind us, we have plenty of staff that are here that can help you ID any family members or friends that might be here.
Okay, what's the business line?
I don't know that off the top of my head, unfortunately, but we can get that on our website.
Okay, this, again, to all affected residents, know that your city, your county, and other resources are there to help. If you need assistance, please reach out to us. Pasadena and its residents and Altadena, it's a resilient community, and I'm sure that we'll bounce back. In the interim, this is an evolving situation, and so we're asking people to listen in carefully to what the police chief, the fire chief are saying. If you're asked to evacuate, evacuate. If you're thinking about coming to Pasadena or Altadena, for that matter, to cause problems, think twice, because the Pasadena Police Department and the LA County Sheriffs will be there to greet you, and you will be arrested if you're engaging in conduct that you should not be engaging in. With that, that will complete our, unless there are other questions. Thank you.
Chief.
Finally done.
All right, Andrew Kraft back here. You've been listening there to officials.
The whole thing with mods in the chat, I mean, I've been doing this for years, like a long time. And so, honestly, like, listen, I watch some of these really big YouTube streamers, like huge streamers, and they have like one person modding. Literally, nobody gives a fuck about the chat. And I remember when I was not YouTubing and I was in the chat, I didn't care. I need 30 mods to dictate what people say. And so, I don't know, what I've been feeling lately, honestly, to me, it's like less mods, less problems. You know how they say more money, more problems? Less mods, less problems. That's just how I feel about it. I'm not trying to say anything negative about these people. And the mistake that I made was like entrusting and telling them my personal stuff. And now these people are running to the internet and like, oh, he said this, he said that. And I'm going to screenshot or screen record everything he's ever said. And they think they're going to destroy me, but it's not. It's just not. I just see these people's true character. And so the less mods that I have, I think the better. I don't want all these people fake pretending, oh, I'm your best friend until we disagree. Then I'm going to post all your shit online. And honestly, when I had all these people in the live chat, listen, if you have them, people complain. I said this, I said that, I was blocked, I was timed out. You don't know how many countless emails I would get. So if you have them, you're damned. Oh, there's too much moderation. But if you don't have them, but there's not somebody here to hold my hands in the live chat. And so I'm just kind of, the way I'm feeling now, the less people, the better. That's how I feel about it. And we'll just go like that. That's kind of how I feel. The less people, the better. And honestly, it's been less drama. It's been less whatever. I have all this stuff in my personal life that I'm dealing with. I don't need to deal with like all this other shit. And so honestly, it's been less drama for me. That's just how it feels. Because people, they get in their heads. They just start feeling this and start feeling that. It's been so much drama. I mean, I'm just over it. I'm over it. And there's people that they say, oh, this and that. Years later, they're still complaining about me. I'm like, damn, like, I would just, as a normal person with a life, I would just move on. But these people haven't moved on. They're still talking about me every day. So no, I'm not interested in having more mods. And there's people that are going to dictate what you can say in the live chat. YouTube already filters all that shit. YouTube is already telling you can't say this, you can't say that. We're going to block you. Whatever. I don't need a whole nother 20, 30 people in the chat trying to tell people what they can say, what they can't say. 5 people, I don't know, or less. Whatever, you know, or less. And honestly, with the mods, they're not getting paid. There's been times where I've sent, with some people, I've sent like Christmas stuff or like sent hundreds of dollars as a thank you. Sometimes I can't do that. Most mods don't get paid. And I don't expect you to be here, but like, I don't know. I don't even want to delve into it, but I'm just saying that like, it's been less drama with less mods. And I'm somebody that it takes a lot. You got to do a lot of shit to me for me to to say something. And there's been a lot of shit. And and they think I'm dumb. I didn't see. Oh, he doesn't know what's going on. But people are messaging me, sending me screenshots, whatever, so I'm just not interested in having 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 people as mods. I don't know. I'm just not interested
in Westwood at the Westwood Recreation.
And a lot of them were Karens.
Ride to that rec center in Westwood, which is on Sepulveda Boulevard, and you're impacted by the Palisades fire. You can hop on a big blue bus, and they will get you safely to that evacuation center.
Did you really?
The impact of this.
He's a nice guy. Let me see who said that. Hold on. Trump 45 to 47. I got banned on this channel for my name. There's a channel. He's a nice guy. Sometimes I think he's kind of cracked out. I'm like, his eyes are like, is he on something? He's streaming 24/7. But there's on that channel, like if you want to report somebody, there's a link. You can't disagree. You can't be funny. You can't have any commentary. It's like some Nazi weird shit, some safe space. You can't say nothing in that live chat. Why? Like, why? I don't know. So that's where I've been shifting. I know some people don't like it. Maybe they want like a perfect chat. Everything has to be perfect. You can't disagree. Everything's happening. I'd rather let people hash it out, because honestly, there's been times where people have told me shit that I'm thinking they're crazy, and they were right. But everybody else wanted to shut them out. You can't say that. And I'm like, I look into it. I'm like, oh shit, they were right.
Okay, so Christy and her photographer Gino.
So we're waiting for the next press conference.
Is hearing us.
Let's see. It can Mel. Oh, Brian Enton's live. Okay, thank you, City Girl Smitty. Okay, Brian Enton's live. Let's check that out. News Daddy. I met him one time. He's a really nice guy. I did meet him one time. Really nice guy.
It's really, really terrible. It's like a, and then you keep hearing it, but it's like, it feels like an apocalypse or a war zone, or like, I don't mean, like, look at this. Like, this is just like all these other houses that have already burned are just, I mean, like, everything it's just gone here in the Palisades.
Yeah, you want me to show the press? Hold on. Can you show the Sky News confronting Mayor Bass and her going non-verbal? I'll show it again. And supposedly she's having a press conference now, so I want to try to. If anybody can find it, I'm going to look for it.
Out here, so I'll have more on News Nation. I just wanted to get live really quick while we had some signal with the Starlink. It's really that's the other thing. There's no cell phone service out here, so it's like people can't communicate. So anyway, I'll see you guys on News Nation.
Damn. Oh, he got off. Okay. The mayor is supposed to be talking. I want to see that. I can play the video again. Where was it at? Let me see. Is it here? Okay, here it is. I'll play it again while we wait. Bro.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up? Appreciate it.
Have
Nothing.
You absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
Crazy.
No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
I feel like if she does a presser, it's gonna be on all the news stations. So I'm trying to see. Oh, okay, I got it. Oh shit, I got the feed. Okay, I got it. I want to see what this lady has to say. I want to see. Dígame lo que tiene que decir. I want to see. Okay, we're waiting. Damn, yo, hold on. This guy, his earrings are on fleek. What is that? He got diamonds. Oh, let's check it out. Damn, on fleek. Yo, look at those. Are those that diamonds? I don't know. Yo, and that ponytail. Oh shit! Down to his ass cheeks. Okay. I want to see what she has to say. Jim Bob. It's California. You gotta expect it. Okay. Okay, so we'll wait on this.
We're looking at a 5:10 start, everyone.
5:10 minutes? Okay. All right. So we're waiting. We're waiting for the presser. And I honestly, though, too, like the whole drama stuff, people are not here for that. They don't give a fuck about that. For the drama, the mod stuff, the drama stuff, for the most part, people just want the latest news and what's going on. There's a small factor of people that are like, oh my god, what's going on? For the majority, people don't give a fuck. They don't care. You know, it's just tell me what's going on, what's happening. That's all they care about. Okay, let's see. Alright, Enton. Yo, respect. I guess I did. Did I get community noted? I don't know if the original poster that said at the time where Hassan Abi's at the time of the post and hours after Hassan Abi was live streaming, so his house was not burnt down. Okay. All right. So we'll let you go for this time, Hassan. We'll let you go this time.
10 years, many colleges went mad. They charge students big bucks and then make them feel guilty. This is what happened to Lucy Cross.
I want to see what the mayor has to say. What's your excuse? Mayor Bass. What you gotta say about your trip? Andy, thank you for the 25 months. Yeah, AC. I wouldn't care about it either. If it was me on the outside looking in, I wouldn't care about that. And, you know, it's just what's going on, what's happening. Let's hang out. Let's talk. Let's try to be positive. You know, whatever. Move on. Damn, that's a crazy ass picture. Mom of 6, you come here for the wigs? Oh my god. Damn, what the hell? I did hear, I don't know if this was true. Okay, just in, actor James Woods rips DEI lesbian LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley for focusing on DEI instead of keeping people safe. Is that true? Hold on, let's take a look at this. Hold on. He's somebody that had his house burned down.
But you guys pay, I think, the highest taxes in the United States. If not, you and New York are kind of tied, or Illinois, but among the highest. No water in the hydrants. 17.6 million cut from the fire department. Karen Bass, a recent headline, I think you might have tweeted that out from the New York Post.
Yeah. And our new fire chief, has, and by the way, LA Fire Department is fantastic. The people, it's like the people who work for the federal government, so many of us are good people, but the people in charge, she took over and she put on her bio that her priority, my highest priority, is inclusion, diversity, and equity. That is my priority. And somebody forgot to fill all the reservoirs, I guess, with water, because when I was getting smoke alarms, there was a fire truck parked in front of my house, but they couldn't pump any water because there was none, because they didn't put them in the reservoirs. Okay? And they were busy cutting, look, it's the same we had with all the crime we have in our neighborhood, in Los Angeles. When we had that idiot Gascon, they just didn't care. Everybody was running loose. They were smashing places. You couldn't walk down the street.
A return to competent leadership. This may be a wake-up call. We're not trying to make this political, but when you can't get water and your homes are burning and you have people trapped in their homes who don't have the ability to walk out, that's a problem. That's a real problem that has to be solved. So, James, I'm glad you were, I think you were the first one to actually put that out there last night.
Laura, with all due respect, if it is true that things were handled this way, if it is true that Gavin Newsom is the absolute blithering idiot that I believe he is in the way he has handled fire management in this state again and again and again and again. This isn't a wake-up call. This is the kind of thing they have tribunals for, where they try people and say, you had an oath of office to perform certain duties. When you're the fire chief, this isn't a social justice exercise that you're in charge of. This is you getting water to areas that need water because there are fires in 100-mile-an-hour winds burning houses to the ground. I watched on a Ring camera a guy have to sit and watch his pet burn to death. Those things are issues of the heart when you watch a cherished little pet. Or, look, my home is a building. It was we worked 3 years putting the homes together. We loved our little house, but it means nothing compared to the 5 people who lost their lives.
Right.
James,
so the wake-up call.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure. I thought his place got burnt down. I mean, I saw he posted security video and fire creeping up, and I think he lost his place. I don't know. Just put Trump in now. Tuck your tails back for mercy. Just get in now. Get in already. Oh, shit.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. They not like us. They not like us.
And I'm an innocent bystander. They saying I drove a getaway car, but I can't
legally blind.
I'm legally blind.
So you can't see it all?
Huh? Mama, I love you.
B.O.P. Hold down.
Right, these all good pimps, boy.
Start taking a minute to start. Where's the governor at? Oh, the mayor. I keep saying governor. Mayor. Where's the mayor at? Come on, you can't run. Okay, so NP, thank you for the 5. There, bot is supposed to read it, but it's not. As an Angelino, I can't let one side be told. Well, I don't agree with the cut. They increased LAPD budget. Oh, shit, refund the police, right? Uh-oh. 5:10 Pacific time. 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe 8:10. I hope so. They got to start soon. I mean, I guess they're getting ready. Bank of America is burning, according to LA Scanner. Wow. Bank of America, no, say they so. Oh man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, we're waiting. We're waiting.
China.
Holy crap! Donald! Holy crap! Donald Trump! Hello, Peter. Welcome to Fortnite.
Fortnite. This is a big event. It's bigger than the president. The mayor is doing some big ass event. Everybody's got to stop what they're doing. This whole town hall, operations center in the background. I mean, she's the most important person out of everything that's happening today. Everybody has to stop and pause for the lady that was in Ghana. Wow. If you look at the Bank of America on fire, there's something in the sky. An alien? It's there. God, lady, take forever. God. They take a notebook again? What's in that notebook? They take it, they put it back, they take it, they put it back. What's going on in there? Lower Lightfoot, oh my god. Excuse me. Coming? There you go. Oh my god. But you're wearing some Nike, what is that? Nike. I don't even look at it. Are they still gonna get some Nike? What's the white ones? All the white plain ones? Get the white plain ones if we're gonna do a press conference.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Zach Seidel. I'm Deputy Mayor Communications. I appreciate everybody coming for this important press conference regarding the emergencies facing our city. First, we're going to hear from Mayor Karen Bass. Following that, we'll hear from Chair of the Board of Supervisors, Catherine Barger. After that, we'll hear from County Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Lindsay Horvath. Following that, we'll hear from LA City Fire Chief, Kristen Crowley. Following that, we'll hear from LA County Fire Chief, Anthony Maroney. After that, we'll hear from LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell. Then Sheriff Robert Luna. And following that, we'll hear from LADWP General Manager Janice Quinones, as well as Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. The mayor will come back to the podium and open it up for questions. I'll call on questions from the left. And with that, Mayor Best.
Yeah, we just want Q&A. The mayor
Good evening,
and Q&A.
everyone. I stand here today with incredible sympathy and concern about the devastation and the tragedy that our city and county are facing. And I definitely want to send my condolences to the families who lost loved ones, to the families and neighborhoods who lost property. This firestorm is the big one in magnitude. Hurricane force winds are usually accompanied by rainstorms, but these are hurricane force winds that are combined with extremely dry drought conditions. To provide context, at 10:20 a.m. yesterday, the Palisades fire was at 10 acres. 12 minutes later, it was at 200 acres. To those who fled their homes, especially those who have lost your homes, our hearts are breaking for you, and we stand with you. I know the world is looking at images of our city's devastation. I have seen the front lines of the Palisades fire, and it is staggering. I've been in constant contact with our fire commanders, with county, state, and federal officials. I took the fastest route back, which included being on a military plane, which facilitated our communications. So I was able to be on the phone the entire time of the flight. We are fighting for you and everyone in Los Angeles. Thank you to our first responders who waded into flames, pulled people from cars, and got them to safety no matter how dangerous. And thank you to everyone who heeded our warnings to evacuate. Tonight, more people may get evacuation orders, and if they do, please leave immediately. If you have an evacuation warning, get ready to go. Protect yourself and each other, and support our firefighters on the front lines. Our strategy included preparations and pre-deployment, and it now includes fire crews from around the state and from our federal partners. We are also adapting in real time. These winds continue to blow. So let me be clear. I am making sure that we leave no resource untapped. Firefighters are now on scene from across the state and across the country. I spoke with President Biden today and Governor Newsom earlier today, and they assured me of full federal and state support. As we head into tonight, we are still facing strong and erratic winds. In Palisades and in Sylmar, we are very much in an active firefight. I can report to you that the Woodley fire, however, in the Sepulveda Basin is under control. I can also report that finally air operations have resumed, and that is a big deal, but it is up to the winds as to how long the air support can continue. But these conditions are highly volatile. We've seen a devastating fire in the Pasadena area. Fires have sparked up in Simi Valley and on the LA and Ventura County line. And as our firefighters do battle on the front lines, all of us must be vigilant. So if you receive an evacuation order, please leave immediately. If you receive a warning, get ready. Protect yourself and protect each other. And don't divert firefighters from our strategy. Signals are out and the roads have debris. So stay off the roads unless you are evacuating or have another emergency. Be prepared, food, water, medicine, a bag packed and ready. Again, this is an active situation. And conserve water to the extent that you can. We want to make sure that we are ready if we need more water. But make no mistake, Los Angeles will rebuild stronger than ever. Right now, if you need help, emergency information, resources, and shelter is available. All of this can be found at URL. Los Angeles, together is how we will get through this. Through the heroism of our firefighters, the vigilance of Angelenos, and the spirit of our city, this is a big moment. It is a big moment for all of us to come together,
I don't believe
for Angelenos to be united, for Angelenos to be prepared to help each other. This is who we are. LA will rise, and make no mistake, I am confident that we will rebuild. And with that, I would like to introduce LA County Board of Supervisor Chair.
All right, I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be back.
Barker.
But I'm waiting for the Q&A. I hope the press
Thank you, Mayor, and I want to thank you for your leadership.
Right,
I know when this first hit, we were in constant contact, so thank you for being a true leader to this great city of Los Angeles. Obviously, as someone who represents the 5th District, we are prone to wildfires, but nothing like what I witnessed today. The Eaton Canyon fire is ripping through a community like I have never seen. It is like a third world country out there. I would ask anyone listening, if you do not need to be in the area and you've been evacuated, please heed the evacuation warning. And if you don't live in the area, please stay away. I was shocked to see people walking around that don't live up there, that are just taking a look at what's going on. We have firefighter and first responders that are trying to do their job, and it's important for us to all support them and make sure that we provide space so that they can get it done. The county has lost many facilities. Our parks, our Eaton Canyon Nature Center, our senior center. I'm sure the sheriff will talk about the fact that we almost lost our sheriff's station, but it's been evacuated. We are going to rebuild. And when we met with the governor and the president, the resources and the promises have been made. And it's going to be our job to deliver. And I am confident, given the resiliency of this great county, working with all of our partners, we will rebuild. And to my friends out there that I have talked to today that have lost their homes up in Eaton Canyon, I am a phone call away, and you are not alone. And to those of you that have lost homes, please reach out for help. You are not alone. It's important for us to recognize that these people have lost everything. In many cases, their entire life savings. So as we move forward, we're going to make sure the Department of Mental Health has resources on the ground, but if you need someone to talk to, reach out. Reach out. Love thy neighbor. So with that, I would like to invite Supervisor Lindsay Horvath up, my colleague who represents the 3rd District, the Palisades Fire.
Thank you very much. Earlier today, I visited the Westwood Recreation Center, where I was able to listen, to grieve, and to be with evacuees in this time of crisis. To also thank the volunteers, but most importantly, to let each person know in this time of crisis that they're not alone. To everyone feeling the anguish of this tragedy, the county will be here for you, no matter what, as we recover from these fires. But we're not out of this yet, and we need to continue to follow all guidance from our emergency personnel. I want to thank you for evacuating, for letting our first responders do their job, and for keeping your loved ones safe. Here are the updates from the 3rd District. Since our last press conference, evacuation orders have expanded into Santa Monica to San Vicente, and evacuation warnings now include Montana to Wilshire, Ocean to 11th. Gas shutoffs are affecting more than 15,000 people in Malibu, from Brentwood Country Club to Pepperdine. A boil water advisory is now in effect for LA County Waterworks District 29. This is the Sunset Mesa community from Topanga Beach and Coastline Drive on the south to Shore Heights Drive on the north, and from Topanga Canyon Road to Carbon Canyon Road in Malibu, including communities of Big Rock and Carbon Mesa. For more information about water, you can call 800-675-4357. Barry J. Nydorf Juvenile Hall remains in an evacuation warning area. Should the warning become an order, the chief has developed a plan for safe evacuation. Our young people's safety remains my top priority. Today, we also received agreement from the President of the United States to approve a major disaster declaration, which will include individual assistance and public assistance programs. President Biden, we are so grateful. Additionally, our County Department of Mental Health is activated for mental health resources. You can call the helpline at 800-854-7771 for 24/7 support and mental health resources. We know this is a traumatic time. Please ask for help. The county has also invested additional funding into our 211 system to increase capacity. LASA has activated the Augmented Winter Shelter Program to provide shelter to our unhoused community during this time. LA County Assessor Jeffrey Prang has shared property tax installment deferral applications, misfortune calamity damage reassessment applications, and a disaster relief FAQ for property owners affected by the fires. You can go to assessor.lacounty.gov. The Emergency Network LA is coordinating volunteers. To sign up, go to enla.org. In addition, the American Red Cross and LA Food Bank have all set up specific donation websites that you can access at emergency.lacounty.gov. Downed trees and power lines are impacting public transit service, and I want to thank Chair of our Metro Board, Supervisor Janice Hahn, for her speed and waiving Metro fares on today because of station power outages. But please, if you are in a safe place and you don't need to travel, stay put and stay safe. For those evacuating, Uber is providing rides for free up to $40 to get to active shelters. This includes Pasadena Civic Auditorium, Westwood Recreation Center, El Camino Real Charter, Richie Valens Rec Center, and you can use the promo code WILDFIRE25. Tonight, the winds will remain strong, but our resolve is stronger. This emergency will continue. Let's keep each other safe, heed emergency instruction, and pray for the success of our frontline and first responders. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce LA City Fire Chief Kristen Crowley.
Who's Crowley?
Good evening, everyone. As Southern California is continuing to endure some of the most historic fire conditions on record, extreme fire weather driven by strong and erratic winds and low humidity have ignited multiple fires across our region. The LAFD is fully committed to continuously monitoring and adapting to the evolving nature of this weather event and stands ready to respond to any additional incidents that may arise. Now, how did we prepare? We prepared in many, many ways, but I want to focus on two main things. We augmented our staffing levels and strategically pre-deployed our additional resources. In addition, we have recalled off-duty LAFD firefighters to augment our response across the entire city. I'll be providing a brief on a few of the incidents within the city. As we know, the Palisades fire continues to demand significant local, regional, state, and federal resources. Currently, the fire is over 15,800 acres and is growing, with 1,792 personnel who are currently assigned. And as we know, I want to be very, very clear that this incident is very, very dynamic as we speak. The good news, the winds have subsided a bit, enough to allow our fixed wing and rotor wing aircraft to provide critical air support to this fire. Next up is the Hearst fire. The Hearst fire has grown to over 700 acres with 260 personnel assigned to this specific incident. There are evacuation orders in place with multiple structures that are threatened. We continue to focus on fire and life safety. The Woodley incident. It is controlled and approximately has burned 30 acres. I want to clarify a little something before Chief Maroney comes up. The Eaton fire, we are closely monitoring this specific fire. It is in the county, and we are absolutely paying very, very close attention to see how else we can assist. If it does come into the city, we are ready. Now, in addition to the large-scale brush fires, in the past 24 hours, the LAFD has responded to an additional 3,950 911 calls for service within the city. This also includes 10 structure fires. We have treated and transported an extensive number of medical emergencies throughout the city. Now, the LAFD also continues to assess and allocate resources to ensure timely and effective responses across the entire city. As the situation evolves, the LAFD remains steadfast in its mission, working closely with our local, state, and federal partners to mitigate the impacts of this unprecedented fire condition. Also, I want to talk about a few of the challenges and adaptations. Multiple incidents throughout this region. We are going to talk about all of these fires within Southern California. We're utilizing mutual aid partners from across the region, state, and adjoining states, and firefighters are surging into Southern California as we speak. Also, the challenges with water pressure in the Palisades. Standard firefighting adaptations for water. What we do when water is limited. We have the ability to pull water from ponds. We can pull water from pools. We're utilizing as many water tenders that we have, and we're working very, very closely with DWP on this.
You were right, the speech was bogus. Near the end, the mayor said, "For assistance, please visit URL." Don't know if you picked that up. They forgot to type out the link and left it URL B for printing.
Active fires that are burning.
It's so true.
With strong winds that are going to continue throughout the night, I can tell you and assure you that firefighters and first responders remain focused on protecting lives and property. We urge the public to help us by doing the following. Stay informed through trusted news and official updates. Be prepared to evacuate if you live near wildland areas. Follow all evacuation warnings and orders without delay. We also ask the public to stay off the roadways and away from any of the impacted areas. Now, the LAFD and other partners, we're working so closely together. We are absolutely united in our top priority, and that is saving lives. Ensuring that the safe evacuation and rescue of our residents in harm's way remains our absolute top priority and our focus during this wind-driven fire. Thank you, Mayor Bass, the elected leaders who are here, and for all and every single firefighter, first responder, boots on the ground that are doing the work. Together we can continue to protect our communities and keep everybody safe. Next, I'd like to go ahead and introduce the fire chief from Los Angeles County, which is Anthony Maroney.
So good evening. Thank you for the comprehensive update, Chief Crowley. My name is Anthony Maroney. I'm the County of Los Angeles Fire Chief, and I'm going to give an LA County update in addition to a Region 1 update. For the Eaton fire in Los Angeles County, Altadena, Pasadena, and Sierra Madre, the LA County Fire Department continues to be in unified command with the U.S. Forest Service and the Pasadena and Sierra Madre Fire Departments, in addition to our law enforcement partners. The fire has been mapped this afternoon at 10,600 acres, and it is still growing. We have 0% containment. We have over 750 firefighting personnel assigned on the line, and mutual aid resources from out of state, including Arizona, have arrived to assist us with this firefight. Unfortunately, we have 5 reported civilian fatalities, a number of injuries, and over 1,000 structures damaged or destroyed. The cause of the fire is unknown and under active investigation by both the Los Angeles County Fire Department, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and the U.S. Forest Service arson investigators. And the moment we learn the cause of this fire, we will advise the media. We also have a new fire start in the Acton area of Los Angeles County, the Lydia Fire, estimated to be between 80 and 100 acres, 30% contained, and thankfully, forward progress has been stopped. As the Region 1 coordinator, I did request mutual aid from the 5 counties of Los Angeles, Orange County, Ventura, Santa Barbara, and San Luis Obispo counties yesterday. Additionally, last night, I contacted the State Office of Emergency Services and requested 250 additional engine companies from Northern California, staffed with over 1,000 personnel. At this time, the state of California is exercising their emergency compacts with the western states of Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Oregon, and Washington for additional firefighting resources and personnel to come to Los Angeles County to assist us with this widespread fire emergency. One data point is that we have 60 units responding from Oregon, 45 units responding from Washington, 10 units responding from New Mexico, 15 units responding from Utah, and numerous units responding from Arizona. Currently, the National Weather Service has predicted that this red flag warning will remain in effect for Los Angeles County and much of Ventura County through Friday. Thank you, and I would now like to invite up to the podium Los Angeles Police Chief Jim McDonald.
How many people? We don't need all like. I think it's too much. It's ridiculous.
I just want to say a few things and not to repeat what's already been said any more than needs to be stressed, but a sincere thank you to everybody who's out there in the impacted area for your patience and your support, to our first responders and support departments who have been out there from the very beginning doing the very best they can to protect everybody. The word resilience was used, and that's what it's going to be. We're going to be an example of resilience in the very best sense of the word. We're going to bounce back from this, and it's going to be a challenging week ahead, but we're going to be able to get through it by working together. These have been unprecedented conditions, as you've heard over and over again, and the fire has been very unpredictable. That is why the need for vigilance is I can't stress enough how much we got to pay attention to our neighbors, to our own yards and property, and be able to catch something quickly if we get something sparking off. I think that is critical. This is not over, long from over. Our job primarily is to assist in a support capacity our fire partners with evacuation, with traffic control, and with crime suppression. And on the crime suppression front, you've heard also about the potential for looting. People going in and taking advantage of the worst possible circumstances to be able to enrich themselves. That will not be tolerated at all. And my ask is that everybody stay out of the impacted area.
You guys have tolerated that for months and years. All of a sudden, you don't tolerate people stealing and looting. You guys, that's all you're known for, is stealing, looting, and taking advantage and low crime consequences. Like, you guys don't. There's no consequence for what the people do.
It's not my honor
That's all you're
to
known
introduce
for.
Los Angeles County
That's
Sheriff
your whole MO.
Luna.
Another sheriff. Oh my God, I'm so tired of this.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you all for covering this very important story. So as I stand here before you with my partners around me, please know that I have several hundred LA County deputy sheriffs along with other police officers who are working all the impacted areas.
Oh, should it cut out? Maybe that's good. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing it cut out. Damn. Is there somebody else live? Okay, let's do the other one that's live. Okay. Okay, let's do the other one.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you all for covering this very important story. So as I stand here before you with my partners around me, please know that I have several hundred LA County deputy sheriffs along with other police officers who are working all the impacted areas out there. They're involved in evacuations. They're involved in traffic control, ingress and egress into the area. They're involved in security. Which the chief talked about, and I talked about it earlier. We're up to 3 arrests with looting. That is 100% unacceptable. I'm going to repeat it. If you do not belong in these areas, do not go there. We have additional people that we've brought in just to make sure that people's property are left alone. These people have gone through so much. Don't put them through more than they have to go through. And then we're on humanitarian missions. I have deputies dropping off food, blankets, and other things to people who have either been evacuated or who just need somebody to talk to and frankly just give a hug to. Those are the kind of things that we're doing out there. I do want to talk about evacuations. Regarding the Eaton fire, we have over 70,000 of our community members who have been impacted by either evacuation orders and or warnings. The Palisades fire, approximately 60,000 who have been impacted by evacuation orders or warnings. As I said earlier, we have called in additional resources, not only for what's in front of us, but looking around the corner, what's next.
Dixie, thank you so much.
Chiefs have made it very clear we are not out of danger. There's a lot of work to be done. For me and my other...
YouTube takes 30%. Thank you so much. Well, off the super chats. Ads is 45 and 55, but yeah, thank you so much.
The county.
It's so nice of you, Dixie. Thank
we
you.
Provided Pasadena
I appreciate
Police Department with additional resources. One from the Long Beach Police Department in mutual aid capacity, and from the Orange County Sheriff's Department. So I'd like to thank those two departments, and that's something we do in law enforcement. Santa Monica's asked for help last night, and we also coordinate and helping with that as well. Chief Maroney mentioned it. Unfortunately, we do have 5 fatalities, and we're praying that number doesn't increase, but there's a lot of work to do, and we'll see what happens there. We are up to 3 looting arrests as we speak. And then the last thing I'd like to leave you with again is earlier I spoke about evacuation warnings, evacuation orders, and a lot of road closures that are taking place in both of these locations. I'm not going to go through them all, but I encourage our community members to go to lacounty.gov/emergency, where you will get updates on those orders, warnings, and road closures. And again, I am really proud of our community overall. Sometimes we talk about the looting and people who aren't listening. I'm going to tell you, 99% of the people are listening, and I think that's why hopefully the injuries and fatalities and all those ugly things will stay down. So thank you to our LA County residents for working with us in partnership. And now I'd like to introduce LADWP General Manager Janess
LADWXYZ. Still, I just want to get to the Q&A.
Thank you and good evening. I'm Janice Quiñones, CEO and Chief Engineer of LADWP. In preparation for the visitation
this is ridiculous.
Windstorm, LADWP activated its emergency preparation plans and filled all 114.
I honestly like the patting on the back. I sometimes somewhat understand. But like having 10, 20 people, people want to know where to go. Like, okay, what's burning? How many acres? What's safe? What's not? Where do I need to go? And hold this lady on the side that's not being held accountable. All this fluffer and repetitiveness and all this bullshit, this doesn't bring anybody comfort. What is this shit?
Limited. The air operations, the number of fire hoses connected to the fire hydrants depleted our tanks in the area, specifically in higher elevations. We immediately implemented our contingency plans to provide water trucks to support our firefighters.
be about action. All this talking shit, just be about have water there for the firefighters. Like, what the hell?
For your patience, we have deployed 19 water tankers to continue to provide water to fire departments on their firefighting efforts. And our engineers continue to look at other options to connect our systems and fill those water tanks faster. We're also asking our customers on the west side to conserve water to make sure that we have water available and ready as the winds and the dry conditions continue.
That's great.
And in the Palisades area, because of the fire conditions, there is a boil water notice in effect for SIC code 90272. And the area north of San Vicente Boulevard and to the south. It's not citywide. Again, it's 90272 SIC code. If you want more information about the boil notices, go to ladwp.com for details. In terms of the power restoration efforts, LADWP has requested mutual assistance from Pacific Gas and Electric, and we're also working very closely with Southern California Edison to support each other while we restore power as quickly and safely as possible. As of 5 p.m. today, we have restored power to over 133,000 customers, and we have about 123 customers still out of power. We have 50 customers that have been out of power for more than 18 hours, and we're prioritizing those outages. Based on our current conditions and for the safety of our crews, if your power is out, you should plan for at least 24 hours before our crews can respond to make repairs. If you see a wire down, call 911 or report that to LADWP. Our number is 1-800-DIAL-DWP. Some areas, specifically those in fire areas, will take longer because we got to get clearance from the fire department to come and make repairs.
Clearance? You need clearance.
I want to thank PG&E again. It's
some political shit. You're in an emergency, your place is burning down, but there's politics behind it and red tape. So we gotta confirm, and we have to see if it's allowed before you go and help you and rescue. What the? All right, get to the Q&A.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, for your leadership. I also want to thank the leadership of the city and the county, particularly those who are leading brave men and women as frontline warriors, our first responders in dealing with this unprecedented set of circumstances. My function here today is to thank those who are collaborating in this community effort. Number one, to thank our workforce who today courageously brought 70% of our student body back to schools. They depend on nutrition, education, and support. But I also want to make an announcement specific to tomorrow. We certainly were hoping that conditions would significantly improve, that winds would subside, that the number of active fires would decrease, not necessarily increase. There would be a degree of stabilization. Unfortunately, despite the heroic efforts of our frontline men and women, that is not the case. Unfortunately, as a result of the unpredictability of high winds, a number of simultaneous fires throughout the community, a number of clouds of smoke, dust have permeated into our communities, making conditions less than desirable and in some instances downright dangerous. Our first priority is to protect the well-being of our workforce and our students. That is exactly what we are duty-bound to do. So after ample consultation with leaders, after clear examination of the data available and entering a second night of this crisis, it is prudent to announce that all schools across Los Angeles Unified will be closed tomorrow.
You're not telling us anything we didn't know.
That applies not only to K-12 centers, applies to early education centers, career and technical centers, as well as adult education centers. Obviously, beyond the bell activities and child care services will also be suspended. Considering the level of poverty and despair in our community, we are not only professionally but also morally responsible for providing some degree of sustenance, as we often do. Therefore, we are activating 8 different centers for the distribution of food through a grab-and-go process for students of Los Angeles Unified. That will begin early tomorrow morning. For information about school closures and the location of the grab-and-go locations, please visit www.lusd.org. You will also find resources of support for our workforce and our students. Tomorrow, we will be pivoting 100% of our students to a continuity of learning model with virtual resources available for all of them. Sometime around 4 p.m. tomorrow, we will make a decision after consultation with leaders, as well as a careful examination of the trends as we observe them about what Friday will be like. I want to close by once again thanking our parents for their resilience.
This is crazy.
Our workforce for their courage, and the remarkable men and women of this community who are working as first responders in very, very difficult circumstances. I will add that, unfortunately, the unthinkable has happened. We've lost two schools, elementary schools, providing educational services to over 700 students in the Palisades area, have been completely destroyed. We're talking about Marquez Elementary and Palisades Elementary. 30% of Palisades High Charter School was destroyed. We were on site and could not believe what we were witnessing. We are prepared to relocate those students to provide a continuation of their educational services and restore normalcy to those families and those communities. Unas palabras en español. Me siento muy agradecido al liderazgo de nuestra alcaldesa, la señora Bass, y al liderazgo de la ciudad de Los Ángeles en nuestro condado. Hemos observado condiciones muy difíciles en nuestra comunidad y debido a estas condiciones sin precedente en nuestra ciudad, hemos decidido cerrar todos nuestros planteles escolares mañana. Mañana por las 4 de la tarde vamos a decidir lo que vamos a hacer para el día siguiente, viernes. Quiero agradecer a nuestra fuerza laboral, a nuestros maestros, nuestros directores de escuela, nuestro personal de apoyo y también a las personas, los bomberos, los policías y el liderazgo de nuestra comunidad por el nivel de colaboración en apoyo a nuestro sistema escolar. Estamos preparados para abrir 8 centros de distribución de comidas gratis para nuestros estudiantes, empezando mañana. Una vez más, quiero agradecer a los esfuerzos de nuestra comunidad durante una crisis sin precedente aquí en Los Ángeles. Thank you very much.
Yeah, 15 speakers so they can cut out short. Yeah. What's the Q&A?
Okay, everyone. I was just informed that we have another brush fire that has just broken out in the Hollywood Hills near Rustic Canyon.
I missed that.
Yes. I'll start over. So I just want to announce very, very quickly that we have a new brush fire that has just broken out within the last 5 minutes in the Hollywood Hills near Runyon Canyon. I don't have a lot of information. I can tell you we're throwing all of our available resources at it as we speak. I am seeing active water drops as we speak. As we have more information, we'll disseminate this to all of you. But I'm going to go ahead and excuse myself so we can go ahead and start to strategize and move towards mitigating this additional major emergency in the city. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Chief, very much for that information and for your cooperation. And I just have to say that Los Angeles, as a region, as a county, as a city, we will get through this. We will stay together. We will be strong. We will make it through these next several days, and then we will begin the recovery period. And let me just say that the reason I'm so confident in that is, one, because of my faith in Angelenos, period, but also because of the leadership that is here. You see every level of government working together, as you have on several occasions over the last couple of years. And I just remember 2 years ago when we were here for a first ever weather event in Los Angeles, a potential hurricane. And I think we all understand in our city that due to climate change, we're going
This is like piss. She needs to answer some questions. They better take a Q&A because I'm not even pissed. Just listening to
of the winds. I also want to acknowledge that we're joined here by the head of the Firefighter Union, United Firefighters of Los Angeles City, Freddie Escobar. Thank you, and please give our regards to the men and women of the firefighters who have kept us safe and who have saved lives. I will open it up for
open it up
now. Oh, by the way, let me acknowledge, too, that we have a number of members who are general managers of various departments, should you have a specific question.
It's just for you.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Question about the water supply issue. I know this is unprecedented in so many ways, and right now there's a lot of raw emotions about what's happened. But for residents who are angry and even perhaps blaming the city for not having enough water supply, I'm curious what your response to that would be.
Sure. Well, let me make a comment, but then I would also invite up our general manager from the DWP.
You need to answer.
So, as I just mentioned, this is an absolutely unprecedented, and it has been many, many years since we've faced this strong winds. So the water pressure dropped as a result of the massive need to fight this unprecedented incident. Water remains available in the Palisades through hydrants, but also through water tankers that have been deployed. Claims that the tanks weren't full are false. On Monday evening, all available water tanks were filled before the fire. DWP is standing by to refill those tanks immediately when it's possible. DWP and LAFD are both managing water resources together from the command center. And just let me say that when you have events like this, as you mentioned, where emotions are high, I mean, so many people have been affected. Our families, our friends have been affected, and it's easy to get caught up in information that is not accurate, which is the reason why we do press conferences exactly like this.
What have you been saying?
Because we want people to have accurate
shit?
Information. And I think most of us know that the internet is not always the best place to get accurate information. But with that, let me call on our general manager who could give you more specific information.
Thank you, Mayor. And I will second your comments. We did fill all 3 tanks. There were 3 million gallons of water available when this fire started. As I mentioned in the morning, we saw 4 times the demands of water that we've ever seen in the system. We opened every valve available to push as much water into the Palisades area. This fire was different and unprecedented because they didn't have air resources to fight it. So you're fighting a wildfire with a fire hydrant system. Fire hydrants are not made to fight multiple houses, hundreds of houses at a time. They're made to fight 1 or 2 houses when they come in. And so we were trying, for us, for DWP, our first priority was to get water to the fire department for life safety. And that was what we were trying to do. To this day, we're still continuing working very closely with Metropolitan Water Department to try to make connections into their system and bring water pressure up so that we can fill the tanks. But in order for me to fill the tanks, I had to ask the fire department to stop fighting the fire. And that's a very tough operational decision to make. And so the fire department and DWP, we worked together on creating tactical operations in the process to make sure that they had enough water to continue fighting the fire. We were able to bring water with water tankers until we can get this engineering solution in play. We tried 3 contingency plans and all failed because we were also in very hazardous conditions where our crews had to be evacuated because the fire was so active around our area. But we have not given up. And we expect to have a solution very soon to make sure that we have water in those tanks and keep pushing water into the higher elevations. I also want to mention there's about 1,000 hydrants in that Palisades area. About 20% of those were without water. So less than 200 hydrants were without water. The rest we were supplying water to. So it's just a very challenging environment. But our goal continues to make sure that we are supporting the firefighting efforts and at the same time keeping the power on in those areas so that our water pumps are functioning and that we're able to fight the fires in other areas of the region. Because as you know, it's not just Palisades.
This chick is talking so much you can't get any words in.
In addition to the question about the
could you hold on one second?
It's a Q&A. Can we ask
Let
something?
me just acknowledge Council President Marquise Harris Dawson and
Like 30
Councilmember
people for one
Imelda
question.
Padilla. Also, 80% fire hydrants with water. If you want accurate information, notify LA.org. Dave?
In addition to the concerns about there's also been criticisms from Rick Caruso, who said there was insufficient brush clearance by the city and county, from others who pointed out that the fire department had seen a reduction in its budget last spring, and that you were overseas when you should have been here. And
Tell her ass!
Any of these claims hit the mark, and if not, what is the real story?
Well, let me just say that we are actively fighting this fire, and this is a time for vigilance and action, not speculation. This is a time for Angelenos to come together, united, to protect themselves and their families, and also each other. So what we are seeing is the result of 8 months of negligible rain and winds that have not been seen in LA in at least 14 years. It's a deadly combination, and I've been in constant contact with our fire commanders on the ground and our partners at every level of government. I've spoken to President Biden's Chief of Staff, Secretary Mayorkas from Homeland Security, Secretary Todman from Housing and Urban Development, Senator Padilla, Governor Newsom. This is going to be an effort of all of us coming together, and we have to resist any effort to pull us apart. In terms of my flight home, I was on a military flight, as I mentioned, which allowed me to be in constant communication. I was on the phone, on the plane, almost every hour of the flight. So although I was not physically here, I was in contact with many of the individuals that are standing here throughout the entire time. When my flight landed, immediately went to the fire zone and saw what happened in Pacific Palisades.
I don't believe you.
Thank you.
Did you also have access when you were on your commercial flight?
I did have access on my commercial flight, Mike.
Yeah, you were on a commercial flight.
Chaos from the Pacific Palisades fire, the evacuation obviously has spread really quickly. Was there anything else that led to cars, people having to abandon their cars, people not being able to get out? Was there any systems that didn't work the way they were supposed to that led, contributed to that chaotic situation?
As far as plans for something like that, you hope that you can get up there. These are narrow roads in many cases, and the reality is you hope that people will pull to the side. People panic. Some people stop in the middle of the roadway, not allowing people behind them to get by. There's pressure to evacuate. Some people then left their car, and it could have been disabled. It could have been a situation where they were disoriented or panicked, and they left, and everybody behind them is stuck behind them. They also then feel the pressure of the fire and want to leave, and all of a sudden you have a whole street blocked, as we saw in this case with vehicles. The fire department went in there, assessed it, and did what they had to do by moving those vehicles to be able to get fire apparatus to the emergency.
Hi. When your fire chief, unfortunately left, was assessing the impacts of last year's decision to reduce the budget, she wrote a memo 4 weeks ago.
Go ahead. I'm
sorry, go ahead. She wrote a memo 4 weeks ago that said the reduction has severely limited the LAFD's capacity to prepare for, train for, and respond to large-scale emergencies like wildfires, and specifically as to the helicopters. Without this funding, pilot compliance and readiness are jeopardized, and aerial firefighting capabilities are diminished. And that sounds kind of alarming. How concerned are you that her assessment has affected what's played out in the city in the last day?
Well, I am confident that it did not. I will call up a representative from the fire department to address that. But I will also say that within this fiscal year, LAFD actually would go above what was allocated on July 1st. Did you want to make a comment?
So, good evening, Jacob Robbie, PIO, LAFD. So when we discussed, as the fire chief discussed earlier, this is an absolutely unprecedented event. We have, we have another fire that just broke out. Any fire department, even our size, is stressed thin, which is why we call in our mutual aid partners, our additional resources. Of course, we can always use more resources, which is why we ask for more resources, because we always want to be the most prepared we possibly can to get ready for the next fire, because we don't know what these winds are going to do. This is something that we have not seen. In my 16 years in LAFD and 5 years in another fire department, I've never seen winds that made it to the Pacific Ocean, turned around and went back up the canyon. So this is not something that any fire department can be prepared for, and we always want to have more resources, and we're always going to ask the mayor for more resources for that.
In the last 6 months since this fiscal year began, has there been training that wasn't done, preparations that weren't made because there wasn't money?
I'm not going to be able to speak on the fire chief on that aspect of it, so I'm going to defer to Chief Crowley on that. Okay.
Can I ask Chief Maroney or Sheriff Luna about the 5 deaths? Do we know anything about where these people were found? What were the circumstances around these deaths? Any other details you can share?
I can tell you that they were found in the impacted area, specifically what caused it, and the specific details. Our goal is to find out. As I stand here before you, I don't know yet. We did dispatch homicide detectives out there just to make sure that everything is done appropriately. And at the right time, we'll forward all of you the information that we get. At the end of the day, it's absolutely tragic.
Any other questions? Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, as you see, we were just listening into that coverage there, of course, of these LA wildfires, of this breaking news that we've been continuing to follow live here on Live Now from Fox 4. The last day or so, of course, the devastation has continued to sweep across the areas there in Southern California. So we do want to continue to show you some of these live shots that we do have there on